5280 Sports Network on a Monday. Happy President's Day, everybody. It is your Morning Minute. Nate Lundy, Shawn Drotar. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate that as we go through this week. If you're enjoying the day off, congratulations. If you're at work, good for you. We got to keep things going. Big trade last night, right after the NBA All-Star Game wrapped up. You had Demarcus Cousins going from Sacramento to New Orleans for a number of players' picks, the whole thing. Shawn, putting the trade itself aside and what it does for Sacramento, what it does for New Orleans, does that put any extra onus on the Nuggets to get more done by Thursday, or do they still have the same kind of pressure they had before?
I don't think they have that much more pressure. There is a bit, I suppose, because the Pelicans are only 2.5 out behind the Nuggets, and that's a big addition for them. Remember, we won't get too much in the details of that trade, but the Pelicans didn't give away a single starter in that deal, not one. So you presume that that team immediately gets better, and they have an opportunity to get right on the Nuggets' heels. The Nuggets have one player, Danilo Gallinari, who is set to be an unrestricted free agent if he exercises his player option, and he will do that. So that, I think, is where the focus goes. Gallinari, and then as someone else you mentioned, guy who was considered the future of the franchise last year, perhaps Emmanuel Mudiay may be on the move.
Well, I think Jamal Murray and the performance that he had in the Rising Stars, and I understand these are just glorified shoot-arounds that are taking place over the weekend when it comes to the All-Star game. There is no defense. There is nothing like that. However, Jamal Murray was the MVP of the Rising Stars game on Saturday, and I think that Nuggets fans and Nuggets brass know that they've got an incredible talent in Jamal Murray, and perhaps that makes someone like Emmanuel Mudiay expendable. I think if come Thursday, when the trade deadline has passed, if Emmanuel Mudiay is still on the Nuggets, I don't think anybody's going to be upset about that. I think if he's part of a trade, I'm not sure anybody's going to be upset about that. I think that's where Emmanuel Mudiay sits right now. I think this team believes when you talk about a guy who's 20 years old, has some upside, he's on a rookie deal, he's not costing you a lot. I think all of those things are positives for the Nuggets, but it also makes him a positive as a trade piece going forward in this chess game that's taking place in the NBA between now and Thursday afternoon's trade deadline. So I think that Mudiay, because of the performance of Murray, and this is not a surprise, we've been saying this for a couple of weeks, but because of the performance of Jamal Murray and what they have in Murray, that Mudiay might be expendable despite the fact that he's still relatively new here in Denver. I think that makes him packageable with a Danilo Gallinari, with a Fareed, or whatever they want to try to put together to see if they can get that big piece to come back. I think maybe, as you said, a year ago, it might not have been a chat about where Mudiay could go, but now I think the Nuggets have done a good job in the draft. They've got some good young talent. Maybe they can part with one of them where maybe a year ago or even this past offseason they wouldn't have wanted to.
Yeah, you think of the Nuggets, who speculation is going to surround Jimmy Butler, which would be the perfect situation for the Nuggets, but it's going to cost a lot. But now the idea of maybe trading Gary Harris and Emmanuel Mudiay, two guys who were starters, that all of a sudden doesn't necessarily seem that scary a proposition, as the team now very quickly understands that it is Jokic and Murray that is the future. So a lot of moving pieces, a lot of excitement for the Nuggets over the next few days, really, like you said, 72 hours really before we know. So I think this is going to be a very fascinating week, not only for what the Nuggets will do this year as they pursue the playoffs, but where they're going over the next couple years.
So keep an eye on what we've got posted up, milehighsports.com, 5280sportsnetwork.com as well. We'll keep track of what's happening with the Nuggets, and once that news happens, that's what we're here to do, is to try to tell you what it means. So we'll be here to break that down for you, and of course throughout the week with our morning minutes. Check out the radio show weekday mornings starting at 7 on Mile High Sports, AM 1340, FM 1047, and of course all the content online on Twitter, on Facebook, I don't know, Instagram, Snap, Face, Filter, Chat, whatever it is. You can find us. I'm sure you can. Just search 5280 Sports Network, which is exactly what you want to do in the App Store as well. Make sure you download our mobile app. We're back with you tomorrow morning. We'll keep you up to date on everything that's happening, including the Avalanche. Trade deadline for the Avs coming up next week as well. We'll keep an eye on everything that's going on with the residents of the Pepsi Center. But for now, for Shawn, I'm Nate. See ya.